I'll never forget the look on Karen's face when I walked through my own front door and found her standing there, wearing my robe, holding a glass of my wine, in my mansion. But the most shocking part, she had called the cops on me. It all started 3 weeks earlier, when I had to leave town for a sudden business trip. I manage high-end construction projects, and one of our clients in another state was facing a serious delay. So, I packed my bags and left my quiet lakeside mansion in the care of my trusted home security system, and a few friendly neighbors who always kept an eye out. The neighborhood was under the tight grip of our infamous HOA president, Karen Milton. She was the self-proclaimed queen of the subdivision, a woman who believed she had authority over everyone's lives, lawns, and even laughter. Karen had always been a thorn in my side. From the moment I moved in, she complained about my non-standard driveway bricks, my too large patio furniture, and the color of my mailbox. Yes, the mailbox. I tried to stay polite, always responding with a calm smile. But she hated that too. Some people, you just can't please. Before leaving town, I told her courteously that I'd be gone for a couple of weeks and that no HOA business needed to concern my property until I returned. She gave me that tight, fake smile and said, "Of course, David. I'll make sure your home stays safe." The way she said, safe, sent chills down my spine, but I brushed it off. Fast forward to 2 weeks later. My project wrapped up early, and I decided to surprise my wife, Ella, by coming home ahead of schedule. She had gone to visit her sister, so the house was supposed to be empty. I drove into the neighborhood around sunset, noticing that my front gate, which should have been locked, was wide open. My security camera app wasn't loading properly, which was strange, but I figured it might be a connection issue. The first real red flag was when I noticed unfamiliar cars in my driveway. 2 SUVs and a sedan I'd never seen before. I stepped out of my truck, heart pounding. I walked to the door, and heard music. My music. From my home sound system. I punched in my code, and the door opened easily. Inside, the smell of freshly cooked food hit me. My furniture was rearranged. A dog bed was in the corner, and I didn't own a dog. Then I heard laughter coming from upstairs. I climbed the steps slowly, every muscle tense. At the top, I turned the corner into the master suite. And there she was, Karen, lounging in my bed, scrolling through her phone, wearing my wife's robe. The sound of a shower running in the bathroom told me someone else was in there too. "What the hell are you doing in my house?" I roared. Karen nearly dropped her phone. Her face went pale, then flushed beet red. You're not supposed to be here," she stammered. "This property was vacant. The HOA deemed it abandoned, and we were, maintaining it." I laughed in disbelief. "Maintaining it? You moved in." She stood up, trying to regain her composure. "I'll have you know, I have every right to oversee abandoned properties under the HOA's safety clause. And if you continue to threaten me, I'll call the police." And she did. She pulled out her phone and actually called the cops, telling them an intruder had broken into a residence she was authorized to occupy. I just stood there, stunned, as she pretended to be the victim. Within minutes, red and blue lights flashed outside. 2 officers approached cautiously. I met them at the door, my heart hammering, trying to stay calm. "Sir, we received a report of a break-in," one said. I took a deep breath and said, "Officers, this is my house. I have the deed, I have ID, and I can prove it." Karen rushed over dramatically. "Don't listen to him. He's been trespassing ever since he bought this property without HOA approval. He's unstable." But the officer held up his hand. "Ma'am, please step back." I pulled out my wallet and handed over my driver's license. Then I showed them a photo of me and Ella standing right there in front of the house during construction. The officer compared my ID to the documents I had emailed myself: property tax receipts, security system registration, and the deed. His expression shifted quickly from suspicion to quiet disbelief. "Ma'am," he said slowly, turning to Karen, "everything here matches Mr. Barnes. This is his property." Karen's face froze. "No, that's impossible. The The HOA, the officer interrupted, doesn't grant ownership of private property. Just then, the bathroom door opened, and out stepped a man in a towel, Karen's boyfriend, Greg. He froze when he saw the cops, then tried to sneak back inside. The officer just sighed. "Ma'am, I think you and your guest should pack your things." They were escorted out while I watched, shaking with anger. Karen screamed about legal action and community oversight, but the officers ignored her. When they were gone, I walked through my house, realizing the extent of the invasion. My kitchen was a mess. My wine rack nearly empty. My guest room looked like it had been used for a party. Even my pool had new floaties with Karen's initials on them. I contacted my lawyer immediately. Within a week, we filed charges for trespassing, theft, and property damage. When the HOA tried to defend her, claiming temporary use, my attorney shut them down hard. We discovered through text records that Karen had actually forged a letter claiming I'd given permission for caretaking. The case went to court, and she lost, badly. She was fined heavily, removed from the HOA board, and ordered to pay restitution. But the real victory came when the entire HOA community voted to dissolve the current board after seeing how corrupt it had become under her rule. Months later, as I watched movers haul away the last of Karen's furniture from the foreclosed house she once bragged about, I felt a strange mix of satisfaction and sadness. People like her always believe power gives them permission to cross lines, until those lines become walls they can't climb over. I rebuilt what she tried to take: my peace, my home, and my trust in community. And when I finally sat on my back patio with Ella, watching the sunset reflect off the lake, I realized something profound. Sometimes, the people who try hardest to control others are the ones who've completely lost control of themselves. That night, I raised a glass, not to revenge, but to reclaiming what was mine: peace, integrity, and the quiet satisfaction of justice served.